The Zintharian Empire had conquered 47 star systems in less than a decade. Their technology was sublime, their tactics refined through millennia of warfare. When their scout fleet detected the primitive signals emanating from Sol 3, they barely considered it worth the detour. Ambassador Krelvek stood before the United Earth Assembly, his crystalline form shimmering with what the translators interpreted as contempt. "Your species still uses chemical propulsion," he announced, his voice echoing through the chamber. "Your weapons rely on kinetic force and explosive reactions. You wage war with metal and fire like children playing with sticks." The representative sat in silence. General Sarah Chen's jaw tightened, but she remained still. "The Zintharian Empire offers you a choice," Krelvex continued. "Surrender your system peacefully, and we shall integrate you into our civilization. We will elevate you from your primitive state. Refuse, and we will take what we require by force. You have 72 of your hours to decide." The chamber erupted in chaos as Krelvex's hologram dissolved. Only General Chen noticed the slight smile on the Secretary General's face. 60 hours later, the Zintharian battle fleet emerged at the edge of human space. 200 warships, each a masterpiece of plasma weapons and quantum shielding, arranged themselves in perfect formation. Admiral Gentok reviewed the tactical display with satisfaction. The humans had rejected the generous offer. Now they would learn. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, detecting multiple human vessels approaching. Approximately 50 craft. Gentok's mandibles clicked in amusement. "They dare oppose us with such a pitiful force? What classification are these vessels?" The officer hesitated. "Sir, our sensors indicate..." "They're centuries old by human standards. Chemical rockets, nuclear weapons, primitive railguns. Some vessels appear to be refurbished from what humans call their World War era." The bridge fell silent, then erupted in clicking laughter. "They send their museum pieces to face us?" Gentok could barely contain his mirth. "Target their vessels. Let us make this quick and merciful." The first human ship to enter range was the UES Midway, a carrier that had been decommissioned, restored, and launched into space with modifications that would have horrified its original designers. As plasma bolts lanced toward it, the Midway did something the Zintharians didn't expect. It released fighters, hundreds of them. "What are those?" Gentok demanded. "They're too small for our targeting systems to prioritize." They're piloted?" The fighters swarmed like angry hornets, each one a converted atmospheric craft now equipped with nuclear-tipped missiles and magnetic accelerators. The Zintharian AI struggled to track them, optimized as it was for ship-to-ship combat between large vessels following predictable patterns. One fighter dove straight into a Zintharian cruiser's shield emitter. The explosion was primitive, chemical, almost laughable, but it created a gap. Through that gap, 3 more fighters poured missiles. "Impossible." Gentok watched as the cruiser's shields collapsed. "Those weapons are ancient. Our shields are designed to..." "Sir, they're not trying to penetrate our shields with power," his officer interrupted. "They're overwhelming our defense grid with sheer numbers. The AI can't process this many individual threats. This is chaos warfare." A human battleship, the UES Missouri, fired not one massive plasma cannon but 300 conventional railgun rounds in a spread pattern. The Zintharian point defense systems, designed to intercept sophisticated missiles, struggled with the simple ballistic projectiles. 30 rounds got through, tearing into the elegant hull of a destroyer like meteors through paper. "They're not following any tactical doctrine," another officer reported, panic creeping into his voice. "Their formations are erratic. They're using chemical explosions to create debris fields. One of their ships just detonated its own reactor to damage our frigate. They're sacrificing themselves." Admiral Gentok's confidence evaporated as he watched the tactical display transform into a nightmare. The humans weren't fighting a sophisticated battle. They were brawling. They turned their oldest, most damaged ships into guided bombs. They launched kinetic projectiles that did nothing but create navigation hazards. They fired nuclear weapons not for direct damage, but to create electromagnetic interference that scrambled Zintharian communications. One human vessel, the UES Enterprise, was literally a nuclear submarine they'd strapped rockets to and filled with explosives. It rammed straight into a Zintharian capital ship, its crew evacuating at the last second in escape pods that scattered in every direction, each one a potential missile, each one demanding the enemy's attention. Sir, we've lost 30 ships, the tactical officer reported. Their tactics make no sense. They're using weapons that should be obsolete, but they're effective because our systems aren't designed to counter such barbarism, Gentok whispered. They fight like barbarians. No honor, no elegance, no rules. General Chen watched the battle from Earth's command center, a grim smile on her face. You wanted to see our outdated war machines, she muttered. But you forgot something important. We didn't stop developing weapons because we became peaceful. We developed these primitive weapons through centuries of killing each other. We perfected the art of war long before we reached the stars. The Zintharian fleet, designed to fight civilized enemies with predictable strategies, crumbled before humanity's chaotic assault. Their elegant plasma weapons were matched by crude nuclear warheads. Their sophisticated targeting systems were overwhelmed by thousands of simple, stupid projectiles. Their shield technology, invincible against energy weapons, faltered before kinetic impacts traveling at relativistic speeds. Admiral Gentok broadcast his surrender after losing half his fleet. As his hologram appeared before General Chen, his crystalline form seemed dimmer, cracked. We underestimated you, he admitted. We thought primitive meant weak, Chen leaned forward. Primitive doesn't mean ineffective, Admiral. It means proven. Every weapon we use today was forged in human blood, refined through human suffering. We've been perfecting the art of killing for 10,000 years. You just brought your advanced technology to a knife fight. She stood, her voice cold. Now get out of our system, and tell your empire something. Humanity didn't reach the stars by being civilized. We reached them by being survivors. We turned our own planet into a battlefield and somehow didn't destroy ourselves. We made museums out of weapons that could end our species. She paused, letting the weight of her words settle. Those weren't museum pieces we sent to face you, Admiral. Those were warnings. That's what we kept after we learned to kill better. Imagine what we didn't put in museums. The Zintharian fleet retreated, limping back through the jump point. Behind them, humanity's primitive fleet regrouped, already planning, already adapting. In the command centers across Earth, military historians were pulling up data on every conflict humanity had ever fought, every brutal lesson learned, every terrible innovation made. The galaxy would learn what humanity had always known. Sophistication was a luxury. Effectiveness was survival, and humanity had survived everything their own world could throw at them. They were primitives, yes, but they were primitives who had clawed their way to the stars, and they weren't about to stop climbing now.